But there is still one more way to get into these back doors that no other minivan does. And just imagine you've got two toddlers that if you put down, they're going to be gone across the parking lot in a hurry. So you're holding your kids and you want to get into the back of your Sienna. Well, you just kick to open right underneath here. There is actually a molded section here. I don't know why I'm still holding my fake children, but there is a molded section right here to go with the sticker that I would immediately pull off right on this ground effects package that shows you, yes, you can kick to open and get inside. And then even if you're picking the kids up and needing to carry them away, you can kick to close it. And I better not drop my fake kids. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is both the family vehicle of Texas and the minivan of Texas as voted on by the Texas Auto Writers Association. I am, of course, talking about the recently updated 2025 Toyota Sienna. This is a platinum all-wheel drive model, and in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why it won those awards. A huge thanks are in order to Toyota for bringing us this, our third Sienna to test here on the channel for you. And this is the actual unit that the Texas Auto Writers used to earn all those accolades I mentioned in the intro. Family vehicle of Texas, minivan of Texas. This is the one, and there's a lot to talk about on this one. But first, let's start under the hood with what motivates this. It being a hybrid-only powertrain since this generation of Sienna was introduced, we have a four-cylinder gas engine, 2.5-liter four-cylinder gas engine mated to 3 electric motors, 2 up front, 1 in the rear. There is no mechanical connection to the rear-wheel all-wheel drive of this vehicle. So where you would typically pay a fuel penalty by going all-wheel drive, having this electronic all-wheel drive system saves you from that. Which brings us to the fuel economy. As near as makes no difference, it's 35 across the board. Front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, doesn't matter. But the EPA specifics of our Platinum all-wheel drive model are 34 city, 36 highway, 35 combined. So as near as makes no difference, 35 MPG across the board in this one. And we've been seeing about that, though we've been having some fun with the features on the inside and leaving the vehicle running. We'll talk more about that later. The power from the 2.5 liter alone is 189 horsepower, 176 pound-feet of torque, though Toyota claims 245 total system horsepower with those 3 electric motors. No additional torque information, though, on this particular one. As we close the hood, this Platinum model borrows from the LE and XLE design family and has this more tamed down, very large front grille above this fake grille up here that does nothing. But yes, down here we get this gray metallic look grille insert here, though the grille itself really isn't all that large. So again, Toyota is leaning into this big grille, small opening that we saw on the last of the Avalons. It's continuing here on the Sienna. I really like the style of the XSE, the sporty look of that one, though there are some luxurious features inside of this Platinum that you don't get on any other trim. So this really is the one to get if you want all the awesome family features of a Toyota Sienna minivan. Yes, coming in close, you can see that faux grille that wears the blue outlined Toyota logo that signifies, yes, this is in fact a hybrid. All Siennas are now hybrids. And then a closer look at the actual smaller openings within this very large grille on our Platinum model. Lighting is all LED. LED running lights, turn signals, headlights, fog lights, all LED. LED, all the things up front here. And it is a handsome look, though again, the XSE really is more my style. As we pull around to the side, our all-wheel drive model gets 18-inch dual color wheels as opposed to the front-wheel drive's 20-inch wheels. And as we pull in closer to them, you can see we are wrapped in some Bridgestone Turanza tires in our particular model. I really like the design of them. I like that we don't have to have 18-inch wheels on a top trim here. I actually kind of prefer the looks of the 18s. You don't need to go big and gaudy, though if you do get the front wheel drive model, just know you will be getting 20-inch wheels on your Platinum. As we take a look at the full profile of this one, this is again where I mentioned this design line, this body line going down the side of the vehicle is borrowed from the Toyota Supra, as is this little lip spoiler on the back of the vehicle. Prior generation Siennas, my brother owns one, had a very flush, very flat back end. The design line going down the side of the Sienna and that little lip on the back really give this a sportier, edgier vibe, and I think it works even better again on that XSE trim. As we look here at the lights, you can see we have LED running lights, LED brake lights, but incandescent turn signals now on this one. The Sienna does get that blue outline Toyota logo up here because it's a hybrid. We get their new Beyond Zero hybrid electric all-wheel drive badging right there. And then our Platinum badge right there on the back. The exhaust is down low and there on the corner, but it is barely running. The vehicle is actually on right now, but because we are in the shade and the battery is well charged, it's actually working on hybrid power as we speak. We do get a hands-free opening liftgate back here, but the vehicle's running, so I'm not going to put it to the test. And as we open it up, we have lots to talk about here in the way of rear storage. And that really goes to just how versatile this vehicle is as a family hauler, as an anything. There really is tons of space in this one and tons of different configurable options, including a back seat that is very easy to put up and down. And you can see just from Tucker's child safety seat here just how much space there is overall back in the back of the Sienna. We do have this 60-40 split folding third row seat that does fold down into the floor, and it is a very deep well back here that you don't get on crossovers. So even if you really love the Toyota Grand Highlander and all of its spaciousness, the Sienna is still the Grand King in the Toyota lineup for all-around practicality and space. Additional things back here in the back, we do have a power inverter, so you can have a tailgate of whatever you want back here with the household style plug back there. You can see just how large this lower section is down in the floor. And then we get some very practical bag hooks for you to put shopping bag handles so all your groceries don't roll all the way around in this lower well. You even have this little side section here. And yes, you could probably already figure out exactly what that is for based on the red lettering on it. But I'll save that little surprise for later in the video. And then again, just to show you how easy it is to put the seats into the floor, it is just like that. Now, this is not my favorite method. I think Honda and Chrysler do a better method, whereas Toyota and Kia use this method. You can see what is now the floor is the back of the seat here, whereas Chrysler and Honda, the seat bottom folds back and becomes the new floor. And it's just a little bit better method in my opinion. You can see we've got this little flap here to take care of that gap there, which is a little bit less of an issue with the other seat folding method. Really, I'm grasping at straws here to find things that Toyota could improve upon with this Sienna. The other thing would be, well, the hatch doesn't really open all that wide. I'm 5'10", and this hatch is just above my head when I'm underneath it, and it does kind of lend for me crouching down to get more headroom. Critiquing this minivan is not easy. It is practically perfect in every way, but there are some shortcomings, and one of that would fall with the key and some of the pre-entry systems with this vehicle. The key itself is not bad. It's of a decent size. It's not too big and bulky. You can see we have unlock, lock. You can remotely open both doors by holding that. You can remotely open the hatch. You can hold this button for a panic alarm, and you can deploy a physical key if you need to. There is remote start on this vehicle, but in typical Toyota fashion, they do not give you a dedicated button. You have to push it once, twice, and hold the lock button on the third time and wait, and wait, and wait, and wait and wait and wait and wait. And because it's a hybrid, it doesn't really give you a lot of indication that it's on. There, it is on. You do get some flashes from the lights there. But now it's on and running. On a hot day like today, it's cooling off the vehicle. But my complaints don't stop with the lack of button. Because while we do have a passive entry system here, that just means I had to grab the door handle to unlock it. You may have heard, well, the engine shut off. And that's because we have Toyota Safety Sense 2.0, not 3.0. I've been told from my many conversations with Toyota, the hardware inside just needs an upgrade. And I'm sad that when they upgraded some of the tech in here, they didn't upgrade the remote start functionality on this. So if you are remote starting your vehicle as you're walking up to it, not only will it take forever as you're clicking and holding buttons, but when you actually get to the vehicle and you have a kid in the hot back seat, well, there's no air going because you've already opened the door. Small frustrations, but that is an area where Toyota absolutely can improve and where they are improving on their other vehicles. Otherwise, taking a look at the interior, we have the macadamia leather interior on this one, which means we have the cream uppers and the dark lowers. You can see we have two-person memory seat for the driver, all of our window controls right there. We do have a little gloss black here, power fold mirrors, and the like. Little storage here, storage down there, which is very nice and welcome. We have a multi-way position seat with four-way lumbar, which is very nice. And then I really do appreciate the way Toyota does their two-tone seating. This is a heated and ventilated seat, but with this light upper and the dark lower, you don't have to worry about blue jeans fading and wearing out their color on the lighter color seat, because they do the darker lower. So it helps break up the monotony that could be if this were a black on black interior, and I really appreciate it. Again, if I got my beloved XSE trim that I keep bringing up, it would be an all black leather interior on my particular model of choice. As we get in and close the door, you can see I'm prompted to put my foot on the brake and push this button hidden behind the steering wheel here. My seat pulls up into place and all the systems start coming on. You can see I have ventilated seat, remembers exactly where I had it left. So hallelujah, thank you Toyota. I also have tri-zone, actually quad zone climate control in this one. So 2 front and 2 rear zones in this one. And we do have a full digital gauge cluster here and a head-up display that I'm going to do my best to show you in the particular lighting situations here. It's only flickering because of the refresh rate of the LEDs illuminating it and how my camera reads that. But suffice it to say, I get plenty of information up here in front of me. You cannot tell because I'm sitting here in the shade, but there is a clear screen that is kind of curved in front of this actual screen back here. It's another small critique I have under most lighting conditions where you're actually in the sunlight. The way that it catches light and reflects it off of the steering wheel, you get a lot of glare in front of this screen, but fortunately that head-up display is legible enough and tells you all the pertinent information you need that I don't find myself really looking down here to this screen too much. You can pan through 3 different preset screens here, and you can change what is displayed on left, right, and center with these controls right here. You can see we have driver assistance stuff, you have your volume and tuning, you have all the pertinent information and controls right here on the steering wheel, which I really like. Coming over my left knee, you can see we have a lot of buttons right here. Our odometer, trip reset, our brightness control. Interesting, a poverty blank here. I think this is just because this is a borrowed unit from other vehicles, because this is the top trim with everything on it that you can get. So I don't know that we're missing anything here. A quick access button for your camera right there. Heated steering wheel. This turns on the rear power accessory ports, the household style plugs, the one in the way back that I showed you, and one I'm about to show you in the second row. Automatic high beams, traction control, your power door slide button, and your fuel door. Down here is your hood release for if you need it. We do have a power tilt telescoping steering wheel, which I like a lot. We've already talked about the HVAC, quad zone HVAC in this one. But the biggest update, the most welcome update, is the new screen. We've bumped it up from 9 inches to 12.3 inches, so we get a nice landscape display on this one, and the cameras are much improved. It's beeping at me because we've got the child seat back there, but the cameras are tremendously improved. The first and biggest critique I had of the outgoing pre-refreshed Sienna was just how terrible the cameras were. They were grainy. They looked awful. Otherwise, this is a really good screen. Toyota's updated infotainment unit. It all works quite well. I'm recording on my cell phone right now, so I can't talk about CarPlay, but it does have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which you will see later when I'm filming on my GoPros while we're driving. But heated and ventilated front seats, both front seats have that, and then your quad zone controls. I absolutely love this shelf that actually extends all the way across the dash. It is great for road trips. You can see it houses our Qi wireless charger right now. We do have a USB-A interface for if you want a wired connection to the head unit. That is a little bit of a miss for us here in what is almost 2026 to have a USB-A plug, but that is the only one in the vehicle. All the other ones are USB-C. But yes, this tray is a really good thing on road trips. It allows you to throw snacks up here, anything, gadgets, whatnot. You can just throw it up there. In addition, we've got some cup holders that you can use for storage. We've got this little slot right here that's great for setting a phone. We've got this little slot here that's great for setting a phone. And when you know it, 2 more cup holders. We actually have 8 cup holders in these front 2 seats alone. 2 in each door, 2 right here, and 2 right here. So lots of cup holders up front, and that is not all of the storage because we do have this panel right here with a decent sized entry opening and a very deep well here. You can see there are our USB-C ports, but yes, lots of storage underneath there. Fixed in place armrests, which is very nice, but even more storage underneath this giant bridge. I love this. The Chrysler Pacifica has a opening underneath their bridge console like this, but it is nowhere near as large. I feel like Tucker could crawl through here if he wanted to, and he would want to if he heard me say that. So let's keep that between you and I here. But yes, this is the largest pass-through in the business, and I welcome it. I really do like it. It allows you to save and store a lot of stuff down here. And when you know it, Toyota has put some power down here for if you need it. So that's very nice. It's also rubber lined at the bottom. There is actually a little cubby cutout area right there in the corner that helps contain items to that little corner area. But I'm just impressed with how much you get up here in storage between the shelf, all the cup holders, the storage in the doors here and down there. It is a lot, but there are more cool features yet to come with this center console when we move to the back seat. Moving up, you can see we do get a little mirror here for seeing our rear seat passengers, which is nice. It is very tiny, but it's there. We don't have any cameras in this particular model, so you have the old school method right there. Then we've got our buttons for our electronic sliding doors, which I really like. There are multiple ways to open those, and that is very welcome. But then you have your hatch release right there. And then you have your sunroof right here. So no panoramic sunroof, just your typical size sunroof with a manual shade. No real complaints there. I kind of like the simplicity of being able to quickly close the shade. Coming to me, plenty of headroom. There's so much space in this, and we haven't even gotten to the best seats in the house. Yes, these are nice. They're heated and they're ventilated, but the second row seat is actually where it's at. They're just not ventilated. So I've already shown you 2 different ways of getting into these back doors, from the key fob, from the button up front, and then you can pull the door handle or just push that black button and the sliding door will do its job. But there is still one more way to get into these back doors that no other minivan does. And just imagine you've got 2 toddlers that if you put down, they're going to be gone across the parking lot in a hurry. So you're holding your kids and you want to get into the back of your Sienna. Well, you just kick to open right underneath here. There is actually a molded section here. I don't know why I'm still holding my fake children, but there is a molded section right here to go with the sticker that I would immediately pull off right on this ground effects package that shows you, yes, you can kick to open and get inside. And then even if you're picking the kids up and needing to carry them away, you can kick to close it. And I better not drop my fake kids. Once you finally get into the back seat, these are really the seats that you want to sit in because they are the super long slide with ottoman and all the features you would come to expect in a modern luxury vehicle. This really is giving premium Lexus vibes back here in the second row, thanks in part to the super long slide functionality. So I could come up really close, or I can go so far back that I actually left this section of the rear seat down. So yes, I'm practically in the back seat right now, but that is not all, because I can also recline. And then I have my ottoman that pops up from underneath and slides out. So now I, at 5'10", am not even bothering myself in 5'10" in the front seat there. And I'm quite comfortable here in the second/third row. So the second and a half row, very comfortable, very spacious, perhaps the best second row in the entire business. But the luxurious options do not stop with just how much space you get here in the second row. I told you we had more surprises with this center console, and yes, we are not done with it yet, because for 2025, Platinum trims get this add-on back at the back, which gives you a fridge box, a cool box back in the back that does not steal from your center console storage. So many luxury vehicles on the market opt to swap out the center console storage for a cool box, which limits how much space there is and kind of leaves you with this awkward cooling area. Here we have two different modes you can see for drinks or for popsicles. So you can actually have a freezer mode here in this one, which is very nice. You can fit 4 bottles in it very easily, and potentially much more. Nice rubberized texture here on the top, so if you want to use that as a table or a tray, you absolutely can. Moving down further from there, we have 2 USB-C ports for rear seat power, and you have an HDMI input for your 11.6-inch screen that drops down from the ceiling, which is very nice. And Toyota has thought about the fact that, well, now the driver cannot see out of the rearview mirror because there's a screen in the way, by giving you a rearview mirror camera back there. So yes, you can still see back behind you. There is a spot here for an infrared remote, and it also comes with 2 wireless headphones so that you don't have to distract everyone in the vehicle. Right up above there, you see we have 2-stage heated captain's chairs. Unfortunately, the only thing these seats I'm in right now are missing are ventilation, but quad zone climate, which is very welcome in this vehicle. And because it's centrally mounted, you don't have to be in any certain seat to reach it, as long as you're up front here. The vents are actually in the ceiling, which is also very nice for rear or forward facing car seats. And then I guess I'm going to go ahead and push this button to close the door, because there's some more features on the door itself that I want to talk about, including built-in sunshades. Now, they do have the minivan problem of having this gaping area that is exposed, but it still does a good job of blocking out a majority of the sun. You can see we have a window switch here to roll it down. It does not go down all the way, again, thanks to the shape of the door and the rear wheel well. And then you can also open it by pulling that handle right there. You've got your lock right there, and you do have a cup holder in the door. You also have cup holders here in the seats. So mesh cup holders in the seats. You have cup holders on the back of the center console. So many different cup holder areas and situations here in the second row, which is very much appreciated. Now, because the second row seats slide so much to the point they are practically in the back of the front seat, I really don't need to talk too much about rear seat space, but we're gonna do it anyway. There are multiple ways you can slide it. You can just leave it in its fixed shape for if you had a car seat in place, but that really doesn't give you the best entry to the back of the vehicle. So I'm actually gonna slide it back and pull up on this handle, which actually lifts the seat bottom up to give you even more forward slide there. So now it really is in the back of the front seat. and does give me a nice opening into the third row of seats right here. You can see we do have 3 across seating back here, but it's a little on the narrow side. We do have lower latch points across the back, though only one here in the center. You're going to have to borrow the other one from the driver's side if you need it. You can see our headrests do fold out of the way so the seats can fold into the floor, and it is a 60/40 reclining seat back. So you can see this is the most upright position. That's reclined a little, but I'm actually going to climb back here and show you what it's like. So yeah, it's a little tight in here sitting directly upright, but I can pull that handle. And now, yes, very spacious and roomy. I do have my own air vent back here, which is very welcome. And coming in close to the amenities back here, 2 very small cup holders, an audio jack with my own volume control, and 2 USB-C ports for all 3 back seats back here. I do even have a built-in sunshade for a little bit more privacy back here in this back window. And as we look across, no power over there. I've got all the power on my side, but we do have another audio jack with built-in volume control so that you can watch on a wired headset that 11.6-inch 1080p screen back here. I didn't mention one last thing on the back of the center console here, since we are talking about features and amenities. If you're going to be having a family vehicle, you're probably going to be making messes. And so you can see we have this little port right here that allows me to plug in this, a extendable vacuum cord that does reach the entire vehicle from the back of the center console. So that is what was actually hiding in that black bag in the very back. We have multiple different attachments, and you can turn it on and off with that switch right there. When you are done vacuuming out your Sienna, you can simply clean out the dustbin right here and be on your merry way. Just empty it out in the trash can, which is very nice. You also get a household style plug back here. So if you bring back a game console and are playing games on your big screen back here, you have that power right there. Again, that is controlled by the defeat switch up there to the left of the steering wheel. Clearly, this vehicle has a lot to offer from any seat, including here in the driver's seat. While yes, this may not be a Toyota Supra, it is still a fun to drive Toyota vehicle when you get your head in the right space. First and foremost, all my controls are very easily accessible right here to me. I've already gone over the praises of this bridge, but I really like the ease of everything to me, including the new screen here. You can see now we're on Apple CarPlay. It is very quick and snappy and responsive. It does everything you would expect it to. Very clear, crisp, easy to read. But I can also hit this button right here and get my Toyota quick access buttons, or I can hit it again and fill up the entire screen. So I like the dual functionality there so that I don't have to go back to this home screen to hit the Toyota home screen to go back and dig all the way through it. Otherwise, different drive modes in this one. We actually have 3 different drive modes. We have Sport, Normal, and Eco. I'm actually going to go ahead and put it in Sport. We also have this EV mode button that can default it to driving around in full EV mode and leaving that engine to be the last resort for additional power or additional energy in the battery. But yes, we're going to put it now in sport drive mode and set off because we are going to 0 to 60 test. Yes, drag race our Toyota Sienna minivan, because thanks to our partners with Racebox and their GPS-based timers, we can do just that. You can also get one of these timers for your vehicle and test out your vehicle's acceleration and lap times just by using the code and the link down in the description. You will get a 15% discount thanks to our partnership. As we head off in this one, a minivan is a great vehicle just to be in and to ride in. Yes, it's not the most exciting, but we are about to see just how quick it is 0 to 60. As I mentioned, we are in sport mode, but I don't know that that's going to do a whole lot for our 0 to 60 acceleration. We are going to come to a complete stop here. I'm going to stand on the brake with my left foot, stand on the accelerator with my right foot. It does rev the vehicle up and off we go. We got a little wheel spin from the front wheels there before it really figured out exactly what I was trying to do. And off we go. 7.92. It's actually better than I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but 7.92, under 8 seconds, not bad. Especially considering the four-cylinder really only makes under 200 horsepower, 189 and 176 pound-feet of torque. Toyota only claims that 176 pound-feet of torque number. They don't say that there's an additional amount given the 3 electric motors in this, but I suspect there is some instantaneous benefit from those 3 electric motors, but I just don't have any official numbers to share with you. We are going to go ahead and put it back into normal mode. That's how we've been driving. That's how most Sienna drivers will be driving their van around. And that's where I can say this is a peaceful, serene vehicle to be in. It sits up a little bit higher than the Honda Odyssey, perhaps its next biggest rival. I feel like the Odyssey, you're really sitting down in it. It is more like a car, whereas this is more like an SUV. Sits you upright. I'm in a very chair-like sitting position, and then I really do have this spaceship-like cockpit around me. I cannot brag on this bridge and the shelf enough. I really do like the feeling of being behind this steering wheel. I really do feel like I'm powering a spaceship, piloting a spaceship around, and I can just bark orders and say, make it so, number 2, and have whatever I need done. And then, yes, there's all the luxuries and conveniences back there in the back. Let's talk a little bit about power now that we're cruising a bit. The 4-cylinder engine chimes in when it needs it, and I have a little display here showing me exactly where the power is coming from and where it's going to. So I can see if it's going to the front wheels, all 4 wheels. I can see if it's coming from the electric motors. I can see if it's coming from the gas engine under the hood. I can see all of that. I can also hear when it chimes in. It's not the smoothest sounding 4-cylinder in the world, but it's also not all that obtrusive. I will say I'm getting more road noise than I am getting engine noise. If you're sitting around at a stoplight and for whatever reason it may need to come on in traffic, you're probably going to hear the engine fire up if you're sitting still. But for the most part, it's very hard to tell when you are on electric power or when you're on gas power or any combination thereof, outside of having this gauge displayed here in front of me. In fact, since I've been driving this over to this filming location, we've been getting 33.8 mpg, which includes that 0 to 60 run back there. Since we've had this 120 plus miles, we're averaging 27.4. And the reason that number is so low is because Tucker and I really took advantage of having all that space and that screen back there. He and I actually came out, parked by the lake during a storm, watched it storm while watching the Astros and Red Sox on the screen here behind me with our legs up on our ottomans back there in the second row. It really was a cool place to be. And that really is some of the benefits of having a minivan. You won't get that functionality in an SUV. In a crossover, there's just not that much space in those vehicles. There's so much vertical space and long space in this that the interior really is super configurable to any sort of adventure, whether it be cruising 500 plus miles on a single tank of fuel, which regular fuel, 18-gallon fuel tank, or it's parking by the lake and enjoying the weather, the scenery, and watching a baseball game with your son on the back screen back there in the back. You really can do a lot in this. And then let's talk about the ride. The ride in this is very comfortable. Again, it's very car-like. We are sitting very low to the ground, but I am sitting very far up in a chair-like seating position. So I've got the best of both worlds. I feel more like I'm in a crossover or SUV based on just seat of the pants feel here in the driver's seat. But the overall body roll and stuff like that is really more car-like because, well, most of the mass and weight is down low. We don't have a lot of ground clearance in this. In fact, yes, you kind of forego ground clearance as the major and chief offender in getting a minivan over a crossover. And that is perhaps the biggest reason why so many people are like, no, I'm just going to get the crossover. More ground clearance, less worry about having to dodge speed bumps and whatnot. In fact, this is the first Sienna we've gotten that did not have a hitch receiver on the back, and it's the first Sienna we've gotten that could make it up our 13-degree incline driveway without dragging said hitch receiver up. It wasn't until we got this one without the hitch back there that I was like, okay, a Sienna might actually work for us as a family vehicle due to our steep driveway. Though there are some caveats there. We did have this loaded down with 7 people, and the tailpipe may or may not have touched the ground going up our driveway. So, again, ground clearance is a little bit limited, but Toyota does rectify that, or attempt to rectify that, with their Woodland Edition, which does give you a little additional ground clearance. It is meant to be their more rugged option in the Sienna lineup. Otherwise, driving this around, I love it. It is very smooth, easy on the power. I've never felt like, come on, let's go, even though we have nearly 8-second 0 to 60 runs in this. I feel like it is perfectly powered for what it is, given its mission in life. And Tucker absolutely loves this, from being able to watch the baseball game in the back seats, to being able to stream whatever we wanted on the screen back there, to the immense functionality of those second row seats. We've actually been letting him ride in his booster this week to really enjoy all the functionality of those back seats, letting him recline just a little bit in the second row captain's chairs versus being more upright in his child safety seat. Though even with that car seat in place, he's got so much room thanks to how much those second row seats slide. Yes, I can't sing the praises enough of the minivan platform. I grew up in a minivan, a 92 Plymouth Grand Voyager to be exact, and when we got to be preteens and teenagers, minivans kind of lost their coolness. But now that I'm a parent myself, I've talked many families into a minivan, and 2 that I can think of off of the top of my head into a Sienna. So yes, there is a lot to like here, and I can absolutely see why this won the Texas Auto Writers Family Vehicle of Texas and Minivan of Texas. It really is best at everything on the inside. It's got so much space, so much cargo storage space, so much versatility all the way around. It may not be the perfect minivan for you. We do have a complete head-to-head comparison of all 4 major players in this segment at the Texas Auto Writers Auto Roundup, where this won its awards, so you can see the pros and cons of each vehicle in this class. Now that we're getting to the end of the twisty bit here, we're going to do a little bit more real-world acceleration, where I just accelerate from a stop. No revving the engine, no sport mode, no nothing like that. We're just going to come to a complete stop and then press the accelerator and go and see exactly what we get there. We're going to do it in 2 different runs because we're going slightly uphill here, but full stop, ready, set, here we go. No wheel slippage this time because we weren't preloading the engine or anything like that. This one's quicker to 30 than the last run, and 8.39 to 60. So yeah, it kind of ran out of steam after 30 there. Quicker launch because no wheel slip, but a little bit slower overall with the 8.39. Again, I did mention that was going uphill slightly. We're going to turn around and go downhill now. My goodness, this thing is just so easy to drive. It's so effortlessly maneuverable. But here we go. Come to a complete stop. Ready, set, and off. No wheel slippage. Just pulling. And 60, 8.13 there. So right at 8 seconds in real world testing. Nothing too shabby for a 7-seat people hauler with so much space and versatility. Which I guess now brings me to, what has it been like driving it around? I picked Tucker up today from camp in this. The power sliding doors, game-changing feature. Just be able to hit the button, he climbs in, buckles himself up, and we're off. Love the sliding doors. The fact that it is so low makes it very easy for him to climb in all by himself. And then just ease of driving it around. The steering on it is light, but not too light, that it really makes it very effortlessly maneuverable. This thing just glides over all sorts of road surfaces. It really is a road trip champion. And with over 500 miles of range on a single tank of fuel, this is a really great road trip vehicle, to be sure. The new cameras in this, the 360 cameras, make it very easy to park as well. This really has been a great vehicle to live with, and I will be sad to see it go. I really will. I know Holly gives me a really hard time about the minivan will be my next vehicle. If it's a Sienna, yeah, I'd take it gladly. But the price tag on this one, loaded out, this one starts right around $60,000 as equipped. And yes, that is fully maxed out, though they do start just under $40,000 for a front wheel drive lower trim level. So there really is a lot of variability in options and in price based on what you need. If you do want to see more from us, including that family review where Holly's behind the wheel and Tucker's back in the second row of seats, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified whenever future videos drop from us. You can find us on all social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com, where you'll find links to everything from there. But as for me, behind the wheel of the family vehicle and minivan of Texas, as voted on by the Texas Auto Writers Association in this 2025 Toyota Sienna Platinum all-wheel drive. Until next time, gearheads, bye. All right, now I gotta watch out for deer. Dodging traffic. I'm narrating. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. All the deer, 85 degrees. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool evening for them to come out and explore. How many deer did you spot in the background of this video?